I don't think that he feels sympathy for what he's done, or empathy or regret or remorse, and I think that he's definitely capable of doing it again, just from what he said and how he seems like he hasn't learned anything.
And we just heard from one of his survivors because he has countless. This man, if I dare call him that, this monster has a long record of doing the unthinkable to little ones. He was the boogeyman. He would wait for them as they got off the school bus and drag them into an abandoned house and do his evil. Now, he was first convicted in 1998 of doing the worst to a little one, but quickly paroled out to do it again before convicted a second time in 2003. He was given a 40-year sentence and up for parole into that sentence. Now, before we watch that 2025 parole hearing, we will take a flashback to the past to his 2022 hearing. We will hear from the survivors. Now, it's a little difficult to hear them, so you might want to put the volume up when they speak because what they say is powerful. And with that, let's jump in.
David LUNN, DOC number 131501. You're a fourth class offender. Parole eligibility date 3/14/2023. Good time date 4/1/2041. Full term 12/14/2042. 4 years, 5 months, 7-day sentence. Your simple burglary 2 counts, attempted second-degree kidnapping 2 counts, molestation of a juvenile, aggravated battery, and abusive behavior with a juvenile. Does that sound correct?
Yes.
Okay, you understand?
Yes.
Okay, would you answer Mr. Pearlwise's question, please?
Good morning.
Good morning.
How old are you, sir, for the record? Call out for the record.
63.
How long you been in jail?
20 years.
20 years. 20 years on a 40-year sentence, right?
Yes.
What do you do every day?
I work in the kitchen.
Work where?
I work in the kitchen.
What do you do?
I do the front floor and the dining room.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you like an orderly work?
Yes.
Okay. Are you being followed by mental health?
No.
Are you on any medication?
Yes.
What are you on mental health medication? What kind of medication are you on?
Oh, I don't take no medication.
You're not on any medication. Okay. I do want to inform you there's law enforcement opposition to your early release. I just want to put that on the record. And when look at your supervision history, each time you were on supervision, you were revoked for a new charge of a crime against person. That's very concerning. So what will be different this time if you're successful today?
Because I've taken self-help programs to
Okay.
make a better life. It changed my way of thinking.
And what self-help program changed your way of thinking?
Anger management, cage raise, substance abuse, and character counts.
Okay. Well, I didn't see all those in the record. Okay, good. Good. What about sex offender treatment?
I ain't never took it yet because I didn't have no parole eligibility.
Oh, okay. So you're willing to take it?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. The record shows that you have 2 brothers and 1 sister. They were able to reach your sister. Where are your brothers?
Her brother died in 06.
You had 2.
All I got left is the sister.
Oh, okay. So the record said you had 2 brothers, but you actually just had 1 brother, huh?
Yeah, because the other 2 died.
Oh, the other 2 died. Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. So just you and her now. Okay.
That's it.
And what do you think about who you were then? What do you say to that?
Again?
The person that you were when you committed all these crimes, who were you? What do you say? What would you say to that person now? And now that you've changed your way of thinking?
I was out of my mind. I was out of control.
Were you under the influence of anything?
Alcohol.
Alcohol. What age did the alcohol start? Alcohol start?
19.
Okay, age 19. And I see you got your house set right in 1991.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you realize you could do it? Did you realize you were that smart?
I didn't think so, but I'm glad I was, though.
Yeah, good. Congratulations on that. They don't give those away. That's a good accomplishment.
Thank you.
Are you interested in any kind of trade going forward?
Well, I got trades. I do electrical work. I'm a pipe fitter helper.
Okay,
I do mechanics and stuff like that.
okay, good. You already got that. All right, well, thank you for answering my question. That's all I had. Warden, what you want to tell us?
Not much on him. Like he said, he hadn't taken that sex offender treatment, and the rest of the record speaks for itself.
Thank you. All right, we'll hear from, would you like to make a statement?
Yes. I was a first victim. The abuse started when my earliest recollection was I was probably 3-4 years old. The abuse took place until probably maybe 13. That's when we left Louisiana and moved to Texas. David would sneak into my bedroom at my parents' house. Because we lived next door to my grandparents. And my dad confronted him one time. And then after my dad and mom divorced, we moved across town to another house. And then David would come to just my mother's house. Then he would come into the window of that house. And there, mom was working a lot. And they sexually assaulted me there. And then also I would have to ride the school bus home to my grandparents' house in the evening. And then sometimes in the evenings, David would wait for me there in the bushes. And he would catch me before, as soon as I would get off the school bus, and he would drag me from where I got off of the school bus into the house, which we always called it the yellow house. Because my grandparents lived in the brick house, and then there was the yellow house. And he would assault here. He could have my older brother be a lookout. He threatened my older brother, stand lookout to make sure that nobody would watch them, would catch him. I would go tell my grandmother, Agnes, about it. She would never believe me. She would just, scold me and flame me over the skin. That's why the abuse went on forever and ever. And then it proceeded, all those years. And then the last incident took place. David came to the school. I was going to SPRNet middle school. And he came up there and he checked me out of school. Said that mom and my grandparents, my grandmother, and we were also to meet at Uncle John's house in Parole. And he came and checked me out of school and said that we were going to go. Well, when he got there, he was on his motorcycle. And so when we left the school, he stated that we didn't go. We didn't have to the parlor. We went towards the park, which was on Sam Houston Jones State Park out there in Westlake. And when we got out there, he took me towards the restroom, proceeded to try to assault me there. And Mr. Parker which was a family friend, was the park groundskeeper. He thought David doing that. And David convinced him that I was his girlfriend at that time. Mr. Parker knew who I was, but he didn't do anything. He just told us to get out of there. Well, David took me home, and then when I got home, I told my mother what had happened, and then she called my Uncle John. And then from that point on, we moved. We left Texas. We left Louisiana, and we went to Texas, and we never went back.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And but from when I was young till I was 13, they molested me so many times. But I can't end.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
my main concern is that has he had counseling? Has he done anything to improve himself? I know I'm an adult and I can protect myself, but my main concern is the other children. I don't want any children, any child out there to be harmed like I was harmed. Because I know I'm an adult and I can protect myself. I just don't want anybody else to be harmed or to live like I did.
Yes,
Because my young life was bad. My young adult life was really bad. And today, standing here, it hurt. It really hurts.
yes, ma'am.
And just, it's a wound that will never go away. I can stuff it down, but, it just won't go away.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
So
you.
that's my main thing.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to
Thank you.
make sure that he understands.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for your comment. So sorry. Sorry for your pain.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll hear from Miss Jones. Is she on the phone?
Yes, I'm
Go
here.
ahead. Go back. Yes.
I don't believe that David LUNN should get parole. I still live with what he did to me whenever I was so young, and I know that he tried to do the same to many of my family members. And frankly, in my adult life, I got my husband to install a security system for that sole purpose because, it still haunts me. So I don't think he should get parole.
Okay. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you. Go ahead and make a brief statement. Yes, ma'am.
My daughter's called, well, she goes, well, he has been doing this for 4 years to both male and female children. There's no reason he should ever be allowed to get out. Ever. He has done nothing but run fights. My daughter's never been the same. Nor anybody else that knows like me. My fear is if he gets out, he's going to do it again. I know for a fact he will again with poor children's child, so they can't say things. So I ask you, please do not let them go.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for your comment. So sorry. All right, Mr. LUNN, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
All I can say, I'm a changed person from where I was then.
All right. All right, thank you. Kind of prepared to vote, Ms. Wise?
Yes. To the victims, I really thank you all for your participation today. I just, it's very important that you're here, and I want you to know that you're doing a lot better than you think you are. You're courageous, you're strong, you're an overcomer. You already have overcome. Mr. David, for me today, my vote isn't denied. You need more programs. You need a sex offender treatment program. You need you need more long-term substance abuse treatment program. You need victim awareness. And as you can see, the impact of your crime on the victims, the age of the victims. For that reason, my vote isn't denied.
Mr. Barbella?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to also thank Mr. Courage to come here today to speak. My vote likewise, Mr. Lunn, is to deny. You absolutely need sex offender treatment. You need to really understand the damage you caused by all crimes. You sound like you're on the right track, not there. So good luck to you.
All right, 2 votes to deny. I'm also going to vote to deny your parole for the same reason stated. You need sex offender treatment, law enforcement opposition, victim opposition. 3 votes to deny. Today your parole's been denied. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And it's like this roach isn't even trying, right? He doesn't even apologize. He can't even fake it, or he is just so remorseless. He's so monstrous that he purposely doesn't want to. Or maybe it's just that he hasn't had the program. So we're going to come back to the present day, 2025, and see what the programs have taught him, to see if he can fake empathy, at least pretend to put on a show, or even just to say the words, "I'm sorry." But a little bit off my chest about this hearing before we do that. You know, it is what it is when it's a hearing led by Miss Wise. And of course, when you have my least favorite parole board member at the time, Mr. Kelsey, who shows no empathy towards the victims, nodding and saying, "Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry." It's just, the whole thing is insulting. It's disgusting. He does it all the time. And I just don't understand it. There are so many ways that you can handle that without nodding the victim away. You know, this is their first chance. Think about this. It is their first chance to go on the public record and express how they feel. They were so young by the time he was convicted. They never got that opportunity. And here they are 20 years later, finally having the ability to regain some power. And you have Mr. Kelsey just nodding. Yeah. At least Miss Wise and Mr. Marabella said things with passion and compassion and empathy towards the survivors. At least we have that. But my favorite warden leaving a mic drop by saying nothing, by saying no comment. His face says it all. He has no poker face. And we will hear from the survivors again. They're back to make another statement. Let's jump in.
They'll kick us to the end if we don't have it ready. Oh no, here they are.
Okay, good morning. We're speaking from Baton Rouge, the Committee on Parole. You can see from our name tags who we are. We're the ones that will be determining whether Mr. Lunn gets paroled or not this morning. Warden, we appreciate you hosting. Would you introduce the folks that are in the facility there at Dixon?
Yes, can you hear us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. The lights aren't on. We've been like, oh no, you can't hear us because there's no lights on this little thing. There must be lights out. All right. Good morning, sir. How are you? Dusty Bickham, Warden.
Donald Cavalier, classification.
Alvin King, reentry.
Ashley Bradley, records.
Jamie DeVal, mental health.
And that's it.
Okay, Warden, well, thank you very much for hosting us. Mr. Lunn, what is your DOC number?
131501.
Okay, I'll be handling the interview, and then my colleagues here will ask questions to see if there's anything else that we've not covered. Tell us why you're there, and tell us why you think you ought to be released on parole. And tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to ask the warden to tell us about you. So you start off and tell us what you did and why you need to get out.
Aggravated burglary charge. Disobeying with a juvenile. Again, like 40 years. I took a lot of classes. Self-help classes. Substance abuse, HRAs, anger management, re-release, victim impact, and sex offender treatment. Phase 4 program, 1 through 4.
Okay. All right, that wraps it up. You've been through this before. You know what we wanted to hear, and that ain't exactly it. Tell us about what you learned in any of the classes. In other words, try to convince us that you're worthy of a parole.
Substance abuse is using anything that's abusive, like alcohol, cigarettes, all that stuff. Character counts changes your character, makes you a better person. Give more respect to people. Anger management, control your anger in any situation. Victim impact is a class that was sponsored by DOC. They put you in the place of the victim for example. And it makes you feel remorseful because you feel the pain that I caused.
Do you feel that pain now?
I still do so.
Okay. All right. Warden, what kind of fellow's he been since he been there?
Good morning. He's been good. He stays out of trouble. His last write-up was in 2010. I only think he has about 3 write-ups since he's been here, and he works in our kitchen. He's been in our kitchen for years, just kind of helping out in there. So he stays out of trouble. Doesn't cause us any issues.
Okay, we appreciate that. And Mr. LUNN, there's no one here to speak in your favor, but we do have some folks that are here and on Zoom that do wish to speak.
Yes, sir, I'm here. I think that he should not be granted his request for parole. I think that, I know for a fact I've not received any apologies from him. I haven't, seen any remorse from him for the things that he did to me. Not, and I don't think that he's apologized for any of the things that he's done to anyone else. I don't think that he feels sympathy for what he's done, or empathy or regret or remorse. And I think that he's definitely capable of doing it again, just from what he said and how he seems like he hasn't learned anything.
Okay. Right, is that what you got to say? I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay, well, thank you for taking time to Zoom, and we appreciate that. Next, we'll move on to, let's see, would you talk to us, please, and just approach the podium and take your time and.
David LUNN is my biological uncle. And, I also feel that, he's gone through the motions. He's taken his classes. He's checked all his boxes. But I do not feel that I think he's just gone through the motions. I do not feel that he feels remorseful. I do feel that David is a threat. My whole childhood was scattered with abuse from David until I left Louisiana at 13, moved to Texas. And then when I left, he moved on to other children. And that's where these other children came into the picture. So I just feel he's habitual, and I just don't think that I honestly don't think that I just think he went through the motions to get it on paper. I honestly do not think that he's been rehabilitated.
Okay.
And that's my honest opinion.
Okay. Thank you very much for taking time to come and be with us. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, that's the folks that are speaking against your parole request. And now it's my turn to ask a few questions. And I don't have a lot of questions. I don't want to go over too much of this. When did you plead guilty? What year?
2003.
2003. And what was your sentence, your total sentence?
41 years.
Okay, and so you've only served 22 Looks like 22 years out of a 44-year sentence, right?
41.
41-year sentence, 22 years of a 41 sentence. Okay. You do have opposition from all law enforcement, including the judge. You have opposition from them. All right. I don't have any other questions.
I'm just gonna read what the judge said concerning this case. A response was received, and this was from Judge Ritchie, in opposition to David Keith Lunn's request for a parole release, and he wrote the following comment. I wasn't the sentencing judge, but through my 33 years in the criminal justice system, I believe this person will offend again and is a danger to the public based upon his criminal history and the nature of the convictions. I have seen old people molest children, so his age doesn't matter. Wanted to be sure and read that because that was a very important statement.
Okay. Okay, it's time to vote now. And I'll be the first to vote because of victim opposition, law enforcement opposition. You've only served a little over half of your sentence. My vote today is to deny your parole request. Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with Mr. Prater, and I would add that I believe that you're a continued threat to public safety.
Ms. Stapleton?
I concur with my colleagues. I deny that.
Okay, as of 9:54 this morning, your parole has been denied. End of hearing.
Did you catch that? His face. Let's go freeze frame it. Here it is. Look at his face. He's like, "What happened? I had a great warden. Warden, help me. Tell the parole board that I'm sorry that I took programs. I took 4 sex offender programs, stage 4. I'm actually teaching the class." Can you imagine he's teaching other sex offenders? I wonder what he says. I wonder what the class looks like. That's what stage 4 is. You have to actually become the teacher. The whole thing's a joke. It's a sick joke. You know, they didn't mention his risk score. I have no doubt that it's a low risk, right? But it would have been funny to hear them say it. You know, the survivors dropped a mic on his face. The woman who came in on the whole thing. They just, you know, getting their power back. His own biological daughter. And really, it was the system that allowed it to happen. After his first arrest, they put him back into the street. They gave him a 40-year sentence, which is a lot for Louisiana. It actually is surprising that they gave him that much. What was it? He is. Let's see. I'll actually look into Lady Holly. You know, I'm going through Lady Holly's spread. You know, look. Let me just show you. This is just from the 8/5/2025, and anything with the orange is a return of. So I've done these highlighted in green, but I got 2 more returns for you. I'm still putting it together. But Lady Holly, as you know, the only update I have for you is that we haven't heard from her since she was hit by a car walking her dog, and this is going on, I don't know how long it's been already. And she emailed from the hospital. She said infection had taken in, and we haven't heard from her. And sadly, I feel that we have to assume the worst. But every time I get to dive back into the spreadsheet and into her file, it's like she's here with us. And that means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to you, but I pull it up. Age 65. He's going to be getting out in his full term date. How old will he be? I think he's got another 23 years. So maybe he'll be expired by then. There's still hope that he won't make it. He's going to keep showing up for parole hearings. And we'll keep showing them here. And I can't imagine with this parole board they'll ever let him out, but you never know with future parole boards. They have different agendas, they have different. But the scary thing is, if this was Connecticut or another state that we cover, they would release him. They would say, to quote Connecticut, there's nothing more you can do in the DOC. Miss Stapleton quoting the judge, it wasn't the sentencing judge, but it's powerful. We don't see that often for a judge to actually leave a comment on this. And for the judge to say something that we all know, which is people of that age still offend. Thank you very much. How many times have we have to seen judges and DAs just, not understand that basic sense? But anyways, here's the boogeyman, the thing of nightmares, the chomo, the roach. I'll leave you with the final words from the survivor.
I don't believe that David LUNN should get parole. I still live with what he did to me whenever I was so young. And I know that he tried to do the same to many of my family members. And frankly, in my adult life, I don't think that he feels sympathy for what he's done, or empathy, or regret, or remorse. And I think that he's definitely capable of doing it again, just from what he said and how he seems like he hasn't learned anything.